So here's a follow-up to the last video that I posted about the Sony ZV-E10. Been using it for a few years and why I've upgraded to the new camera, which I'm actually filming on right now. People asked what was it that I upgraded to. The reason the upgrade was done from the Sony ZV-E10 to the new camera was because of two main reasons. I'd say not just one reason. It came down to color and it came down to the movement, that I needed some sort of stabilization within the camera. Because of those two reasons, that gave me the indication that I've actually outgrown the Sony ZV-E10. I knew that an upgrade was necessary for me to level up my content game and level up my content as I go further with it. Now the Sony ZV-E10, which I've got here, is still a great camera. Like, there's no issues with it. I still love it. I still use it here and there. The only thing is that my actual workflow of filming content has changed. And because of that change, the upgrade was necessary. And I'm pushing a lot more footage now as well. And I needed a bit more flexibility in post with the footage. So overall, it's hitting all those sort of limits with this camera to be able to upgrade to the next camera. So hence, hitting all these limits with the Sony ZV-E10 and wanting to go further, I finally upgraded to the Sony A6700. And for me, that was the best option, the best camera within my budget for what I needed to do. It's only been a few weeks, I'm still using it and I absolutely love it. I could go on and on and on about this camera, but I'm gonna just boil it down to the two reasons which I mentioned why I upgraded to. Let's get to the first reason. So the Sony A6700 is a 10-bit camera. Compared to the Sony ZV-E10, which is an 8-bit color camera, I'm able to not break my footage. Because this is an 8-bit, whenever I tried to push S-Log 3 or even S-Log 2, the footage would always break, meaning the colors would be all over the place. I would try my best to mask it, put a grain on it, this and that, a lot of noise. All this, a mixture of all of this, that was one of the main reasons that made me get the A6700, because of the 10-bit color. Whereas this is 8-bit color. So I had to be very careful with this one when I did, color grading and things like that. And now I have a lot of breathing room. So I'm able to film in S-Log 3 with the right exposure settings and not be scared of breaking my footage or breaking the colors in the footage or anything like that. Skin tones are nice and shadows hold up as well. It's just that overall flexibility that the A6700 is giving me, which the Sony ZV-E10 didn't. I used to be scared using S-Log 2, S-Log 3 on this camera. I used to use the flat picture profile all the time on this camera because I was scared. I'm out and about, I'm trying to film, I don't know, some shots or whatever, and I'd be like, should I film in S-Log? Should I not film in S-Log? I'm scared. I don't know what the post is gonna be looking like, or blah, blah, blah. And because I'm away from my laptop, usually I don't carry my laptop with me. It's very rare I carry a laptop with me to check my footage or whatever. But when you want to get that one shot and you have your settings dialed into your camera and you've taken that shot, you're not going to get that shot again. It's like a constant battle between flat profile or S-Log. So I just used to be a bit scared doing that. So, now I'm a bit more confident in using S-Log a lot more. Post-production used to be obviously difficult, and it used to be like a gamble every time for me with this camera. Whereas now with post-production, I know that I've filmed in S-Log 3, I've filmed in these settings, my exposure was dialed in, and I know that I can color grade it to a certain extent and it's gonna be all right. Whereas with this, it was very hit and miss. I could go on about it, I could make a video on that, but I won't talk about it much on this. So the second reason is IBIS. And for the guys that don't know what IBIS means, it's in-body image stabilization, which the Sony ZV-E10 does have, but it only had it from a digital perspective. Whereas the A6700, it's got a built-in IBIS. Image stabilization is great. Like, you could, as long as you lock in your arms and hold the camera quite stable and you switch on active stabilization, you're able to, get very smooth gimbal style movements. I really wanted that and I really needed that. I know that that active stabilization kind of crops in slightly further. I can't remember how much, but it does crop in. But overall, the IBIS, I can see the stabilization is so much better compared to the Sony ZV-E10. It helps where I don't want to be carrying my tripod always around me so that I can get stable footage. And I've always been that sort of guy where I want to do handheld shooting. Now my shots are much more usable. Even if I need to, I can stabilize the footage further in post in my edits if I really wanted to. But with the IBIS on board on the A6700, it's just so much smoother and easier for me. You know, I absolutely love it. I just feel like I can be a lot more creative when I'm out and about and, you know, just doing handheld shots. I can just be a bit more creative, and if I really need to stabilize myself, stabilize it further, you know, take my shots and do whatever I need to. Whereas with this, it's a lot of shakiness. I'd say it's just the whole freedom of being able to use handheld, being able to stabilize it, the movement, and less of a setup to carry around tripods and things like that. So yeah, those are like the two main reasons basically. The upgrade has drastically changed how I create content now. I feel like I can shoot more freely. So I can fix my post footage very confidently. I don't have to like mess about that much. It's been much easier compared to with this, you know. And also when I'm out trying to be creative and, you know, trying to get into the zone of filming something, the camera becomes less of a focus. So you're concentrating less on the camera, but you're concentrating more on the moment that you're trying to capture. It just kind of like made it easier for me to concentrate on what I'm trying to creatively capture. Whereas before, I was always like, oh, my settings, are my settings okay? Am I filming this properly? And it's like the moment has already gone, or like it's going. Whereas with the A6700, once my settings are dialed in, I know that I need the exposure to a certain extent. I need to set it to this shutter speed or whatever, blah, blah, blah. IBIS is on, S-Log3 is on, boom, let's get it done. And it's all set and it's ready to go. The workflow has just improved so much for me. Definitely the workflow, definitely the trust factor with the camera as well. That is basically the reason for my A6700 upgrade. There are a few other things that I found in the A6700 which I didn't expect to care about. So they're like few smaller things basically. So I'd say one of the key things, which I'm really, really glad that it's very good in low light. So this is not good in low light. Even though I'm using my 16mm Sigma 1.4, I would use this on this and it would help, but it's not really good in low light, this. Whereas the A6700, on the other hand, is quite good in low light, quite good. I mean, I'm still running a few tests on it and stuff, and I think it's really good. And another thing I would say is the autofocus on the A6700. Not that the autofocus was bad on the ZV-E10, but they're quite similar, but you can tell it's slightly a bit more snappier. You set it and forget it, and it just autofocuses around you. Like even now, as I'm speaking into the camera, I'm looking on my screen here, it's literally just the autofocus, the square around me is just literally just on me constantly. Like I'm moving left to right, it's on me. It's not like, you know, cutting off or anything like that. It's literally on me and it's focusing my eye, and it's just so sick. But yeah, so for talking heads and like B-roll footage, it's really good. Focus is on point all the time. So the Sony A6700 is an upgrade for certain type of people. Just hear me out. So I would say beginners don't need the A6700. Definitely not. Beginners would be okay to use the Sony ZV-E10 or any other camera, or even your phone. Like, you know, you can use your phone, you can use your Sony ZV-E10 or any other sort of camera. You don't need to be like, right, I really need the A6700. I used my camera for a few years, the ZV-E10. It's because of me pushing myself in creating content and reaching some sort of limit. That's when I finally decided I need to upgrade to a camera that suits my needs, which is the A6700. And yes, I haven't upgraded to the most talked about camera that everyone talks about, which you guys probably know. I didn't upgrade to that because I don't need it. I don't need that sort of upgrade. And plus it's way past my budget. Even if I did have the budget, I don't think I'd get that camera. You know, like these cinema line cameras or these anamorphic lenses and this and that. I don't think I would, because I'm still learning. I'm still trying to understand cameras. I'm still trying to understand ISO. I'm still trying to understand color grading. So all this put together is part of my journey and learning on how I'm dealing with cameras. So A6700 has just helped me to step up one bit further. Going back to the original thing, I don't think it's needed for beginners. If you're doing like talking headshots like this, the ZV-E10 is fine. All my other videos that I've used till now, they're all been shot on the Sony ZV-E10, and they've not been like shot in some from another camera or anything like that. Some of them have even been shot on my iPhone, like literally on its side, horizontal, and shot like that. I've even done that. So these two cameras, I've been shooting all my content for the past few years. If you're going more into like coloring and movement and things like that, then I'd say, yeah, okay, upgrade to the A6700. Definitely, because of IBIS, because of 10-bit. That's it. So yeah, I think the Sony A6700 is a good upgrade for people who want to get into color grading, who want to maybe use not a gimbal and stuff like that, and want to use a bit of IBIS. I think it's a good camera for them. But people who are just going to use it for talking headshots and stuff like that, nah, I don't think so. I think just stick with the Sony ZV-E10 or the camera in your pocket, do you know what I mean? Your phone that you've got, even that's perfect. That's how I started. So yeah, that's my final say on the A6700. So yeah, the next video that I'm wanting to post is show you how I've set up the A6700 in my studio space, this office space, or whatever you want to call it, and show you how I use it from a practical perspective, how I'm using it on a day-to-day basis with my content in this little space, and just take it from there. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.